So we are the least permanent, the most transient, the most fleeting civilization that's ever existed. Our roots are buried right beneath the surface, if even that. All right, let's move on to this. Elon Musk is, I don't know what, this is some kind of event that he was, I don't know where this is exactly, but he's giving his predictions about AI. Of course, we've been talking a lot about that. And this is the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum. That's what it is. And here's what Musk says about AI. Listen.
If you say, like, in the long term, where will things end up? Long term, I don't know what long term is. Maybe it's 10, 20 years, something like that. For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. So.
We'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way, like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional. Now, between now and then, there's actually a lot of work to get to that point. Mm-hmm. And I always recommend people read Ian Banks' culture books to get a sense for what a probable positive AI future is like. And interestingly, in those books, money is doesn't exist. It's kind of interesting. And my guess is, if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, money will stop.
So that's Elon's prediction, and I have to object to basically all of that. And I mean, I like Elon Musk. He's the only billionaire really trying to do anything worthwhile with his fortune. Maybe not the only one, but he's one of a few. SpaceX. I love SpaceX. I love the fact that he gave us free speech on social media again. I've said that Elon is one of the great men of history, and he is. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. There are a few people currently alive on the planet who will be remembered in the history books. Elon is one. Trump is obviously another. There's only a few of them. Most of us will be forgotten, but he's one of the few. On this AI stuff, I strenuously disagree. First of all, I don't see how AI could possibly create the utopia he's talking about. For one thing, AI is not going to make everybody's jobs obsolete all at once. It's going to wipe out whole industries. I believe that, but that's not going to happen at a time. That's not going to happen at a time when we're living in this utopia that Elon describes. So like when the customer service jobs go and the delivery jobs and the truck driver jobs, when all that stuff goes away, those are all going away. Almost certainly soon. Like in the next 5 to 10 years. Well, that's millions of people out of work. And what happens to them? They're going to have their work taken away at a time when work is still very much necessary to survive. And I think that work is always going to be necessary to survive, even in a non-capitalist society, even pre-industrialization, even in a hunter-gatherer society. I mean, you could go back 5,000 years, and I think you could go forward 5,000 years, and work is necessary to survive because life requires resources to be maintained, and resources require work to obtain. That simple. Someone has to do the work to provide the food, the shelter, the warmth in the winter, the clothes, and everything else, not to mention all the other things that are not necessary for survival, but still are necessary to make our lives enjoyable. That stuff comes from somewhere, and people have to do work to create those things. That stuff can only be obtained through work that someone has to do. The only way to live without work is to compel someone else to do it for you, which is slavery. Now, maybe Elon imagines a world, I assume this is what he's saying, is that it will be in a world where AI will do all that stuff for you. So now we're talking far off in the future. I mean, if you're talking about AI building houses and growing your food, now we're talking decades and decades in the future. Before that happens, if it happens, millions of people are going to be jobless and destitute. They're not going to make it to the utopia. That's the part Elon doesn't mention. But let's imagine this utopia. Let's pretend that it's 50 years in the future. Somehow we made it through the absolute hell that's going to be required to get to that point. And now AI does everything. Okay? Just does everything. And this would require, as he kind of mentions there at the end, like, it would, you know, in order for it to do everything, you need not just AI, but AI and robots. And you need to finally have like the sci-fi kind of robots that, you know, can walk around and function just as people and have AI brains and whatever else. So that we're far off in the future. Well, is that actually good? I mean, to live as a human being, utterly dependent in every way on soulless, mindless algorithms and machines for your survival, is that good? Is that a good life? I mean, a life where we don't have to do any work because we just have, because we're like infants, where we are infants and we never grow beyond the infancy stage, and we are totally dependent. We don't know how to do anything for ourselves. We are totally dependent on these machines that don't love us, don't care about us, don't even know that we exist, have no consciousness. Is that a good life? Is that in any way a good life? I mean, aren't you just now talking about the Matrix? Like, but the Matrix is not supposed to be something that's a dystopia, not a utopia. This is the Matrix. I mean, this is, we're all plugged into, you know, we're all in these kind of robotic wombs. And so that's what he's describing. Does anyone watch The Matrix and think like, oh yeah, that's the world I want to live in? So I don't, this to me is not a good thing. I had another thought about AI, sort of about AI. It's just something I was thinking about yesterday. We talked about on Friendly Fire, we debated AI, and Ben is more on the side of embracing AI as a good thing. I'm more on the side of killing it with fire, so no surprise there. But he said something kind of offhand that we didn't get into at the time. He said one of the good things about AI is that it might extend our lifespans by 20 or 30 years. You know, Elon Musk has talked about the same thing, that this is one of the advantages of AI is that's going to extend our lifespan because of the ability to diagnose and treat illness and that sort of thing. And maybe AI eventually be able to come up with cures for various different diseases. I don't know if that's true or not. I think it may very well be true. And yet there's something that always bothers me about this. Like, I look at that, I think, well, does that make AI worth it? And I say no. I mean, even if I were to say, well, yeah, sure. Like, even if I knew that in the near future it could extend our lifespans by 20 or 30 years, does that make it worth it? I say no. And there's something that always bothers me about this obsessive push to extend human lifespan. I'm in favor of extending them, don't get me wrong. But at another level, it's like, why? I mean, we live on average 85 years. If we could start living on average 105 years, what difference does that really make? I mean, we live now 20 years longer than our ancestors did. Does that extra 20 years really make us happier on average? Are we even doing anything with that time? And besides, even if you live to 100, your life is still going to be so short as to be almost non-existent on a cosmic scale. So the extra 20 years is nothing. I mean, your entire life is a blink of an eye. And so now you're adding another fraction of a blink of an eye on top of it. And here's what I'm getting at. So I'm all for curing diseases. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for that. I'm sure when I'm 85, I would prefer to live to 105, maybe. It also depends on what kind of health you're in. But here's the thought I have, which is only tangentially connected to AI, which is that, you know, the thing that makes life difficult is impermanence. Life is short, life is fleeting. That's what's so sad about it. Every stage of life is even shorter. We experience little deaths along the way until we get to death itself taking hold. Parents feel this as they watch their kids grow older. You know, you're happy they're growing up and all that, but it's also sad because the unique joy that this one stage of childhood gives you is going away. It's dying. And, you know, the 5-year-old version of your child is going away, never to return. You're never going to get that time back. So life is fleeting. Life is impermanent. But here's the bigger problem for us. Every generation through all of history has noticed this and tried to do something about it. Every generation has realized that it will only be around for a blink of an eye, and it's tried to do something to counteract life's impermanence. I mean, this is in many ways like the story of human civilization, is just finding ways. We all realize that we're going to die soon, and we're just What do we do about that? Is kind of, that's the story of civilization. What do we do about the fact that we're all going to die? And the way that our ancestors approached this, what they did about it, was they surrounded themselves with and they built permanent things. They built giant stone temples and cathedrals and pyramids and monuments. They built things to last. They formed big families, right? They had a lot of kids and they stayed with their families, many generations together. And they lived in places that their ancestors, they lived where their ancestors were buried. And they'd go to a temple and they knew that this temple's been here for generations. My great-grandfather worshiped here. My great-grandchildren will also worship here. And so they were connected in that way. They felt connected with the past and the future. They raged against the dying of the light with things that would not die. Temples and bloodlines do not die if they're maintained. They were surrounded by permanence. Now for us, we are surrounded by impermanence. We are impermanent beings surrounded by impermanence. We build things that decay and fall apart in one generation. We build houses that won't last and buildings that won't last and bridges that fall apart. We break apart our families and we spread out and we sever those bonds. And many of us don't even have kids or don't have enough kids. And most of our time is spent on the internet in a place where nothing exists physically. And it only exists, this content only exists in our consciousness for a moment before it's gone and we forget about it. And everything we do here could be erased forever by just like flipping a switch. It's all gone. The holidays are here, which means your calendar is probably packed with hosting duties, shopping lists, and endless to-dos. When life gets this hectic, sleep often takes a backseat, but that's exactly when you need it the most. Quality rest is what keeps you energized for holiday prep, helps you stay patient with the in-laws, and lets you actually enjoy the season instead of just surviving it. And here's the truth, if your mattress isn't giving you the deep, comfortable sleep that your body craves, you're starting every day at a disadvantage, and that's where Helix Sleep comes in. Finding the right mattress doesn't have to be guesswork. Helix makes it simple with their sleep quiz. It asks about your preferences and sleep style that matches you with the mattress that's actually right for you. And they're not just making promises. Helix is the most awarded mattress brand out there with glowing reviews from Forbes, Wired, and other trusted experts. Best part, they deliver straight to your door with free shipping, so no hauling anything yourself. Plus, with their Happy with Helix guarantee, you get 120 nights to try it out and a limited lifetime warranty. So if it's not working for you, returns and exchanges are totally seamless. It's basically risk-free, and it's a way to finally get the sleep you deserve, especially when you need it most. My family has completely switched to Helix mattresses now. My wife and I have had a mattress for a long time now, and we love it. It is the most comfortable mattress I've ever slept on, hands down. And we've also updated all of our kids' mattresses to Helix. So go to helixsleep.com/Walsh for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Walsh for 27% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name into the post-purchase survey so they know that we sent you. helixsleep.com/Walsh. So we are the least permanent, the most transient, the most fleeting civilization that's ever existed. Our roots are buried right beneath the surface, if even that. And we've noticed the same problem, that we are impermanent. We are more troubled by it, really, than anyone, because our lives are lived in such a shallow way in this digital world that we access through phones that break every 18 months. So our way around it is medical. We try to fight against impermanence of life by extending our actual physical lives for as long as we can. That's the worst way to do it. Our ancestors found a way to live 1,000 years, right? By building, by having, through your bloodline and through the things that you build, and by the civilization that you build and you're a part of, your culture, right? And so that's how you live on. Well, we found a way to live an extra 20 or so. And then after we die, no trace of ourselves will exist. Nothing that we did or said or built will outlive us. And so, you got guys like Brian Johnson is the Don't Die movement. They even make it a movement, don't die. Well, it's like, yeah, dude, you're going to die. You are going to die. You're not, there's no way around it. It's the law of physics. You can't get around it. I'm sorry. Even if you figure out, so what he means is, well, don't die before you're 100. Okay. But then what? Then you are going to die. And what lives on beyond you? What outlives you? That's the question. And that's not something you're going to solve with AI. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.